yes, the fantastic Bijou Bisou and the amazing Felicia Rayne is here. There they are. Look, I don't even have a drink poured yet. Welcome everybody who's tuning in. Hello, I'm the Love Doctor. This is the Love Doctor live stream. I have two fantastic guests with me tonight. I'm going to be pouring my drink, but if you want to ask your questions about love, sex, and relationships, we're going to be answering them as soon as we can, as we get them. Just a reminder, you can ask your questions in chat, or you can ask them anonymously using the Slido. Slido, for those who don't know, is just a very simple thing that allows you to, well, you just go to Slido and the event code is TLD60. 60 episodes of this. 60 COVID episodes. I love the tongue work, Felicia, but I'm not hearing your voice.
Oh no, it was pure tongue work. Can you hear me now?
Oh, no, you're muted at this point. I'm not.
Oh, I can hear.
Bijou, I can't hear you. You know what? I think I just unplugged my headphones, so it was me. It was me all along. There we are.
Because I was like, I can hear Bijou. Bijou can hear me. Love Doctor hears no one.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it, which is weird because normally the voices in my head are going all the time. I still haven't poured the drink yet. I think that's what I need. Two delicious guests, yummy. Yes, definitely yummy. I'm all about the yummy. I have. This is the big news episode. Is anyone ready? You know what? Maybe we should string it along a little bit. Wait for a few more people to come in before I give the big news. But there are going to be big news. It's a pure tongue. Love it. A good tongue is highly underappreciated. I think people appreciate a good tonguing. Does everyone?
I hope so. I certainly appreciate a good tonguing.
By the way, if it wasn't for the tongue, I wouldn't be here because, well, you wouldn't be able to hear me. I'd just be mumbling a lot. The tongue is necessary for speech. But I was not doing a sexy illusion with that. This is just a. Hi, how's everybody? Felicia, how was your week? How have you been? It's been a couple of weeks since you've been on. But you are definitely been a favorite from the people who watch the show. So
I think the people are very generous. The last few weeks have been okay. I mean, I could bullshit you all and say like everything's hunky dory, but that's a lie. It's been a little bit of a rough go, but you know what? I made Ford tough. So I can carry a wide load, and I'm built to last.
You just wanted to put the load.
I did. I really wanted to talk about a big load.
We have a couple questions in the anonymous that we will get to. Devin Uphound, could you sign a fast-paced fingering? There we go, fingering. Also something that is not rated highly enough, I think, in today's society. To appreciate good fingering. I think,
Ooh.
So that's true.
We are.
I'm not fast enough. I'd be like.
It's I recently shared a story working at Just for Laughs, and the fact that they actually had Felicia like a rock. So, well, that was rock, wasn't it? Didn't start with a C. No, all right, Felicia like a rock.
How dare you sell me my good name, sir?
I heard you like sullying. There's. God, I love you. Yeah, I'm so happy that both of you are here. This is going to be a fun show. But somebody reminded me of one of the times that the festival Just for Laughs had a sign language interpreter in, and they had a section for people who were hearing impaired to watch the comedy shows, and finger skills. Share Bijou Bisou. Definitely the finger skills. But the comedians took it as a challenge, and they did as many jokes as they could that involved onomatopoeia.
That's funny. That's smart, because then you have to spell that out.
Right. So it's all the kind of noises that was going with it, and I'm pretty sure there was also a couple comedians who just said fuck just to see if they could learn how to sign fuck. which was pretty simple actually.
I think it's this. I
I
can't
thought it
remember.
was. I think this is
Yes,
like
I think you're right.
this
Yeah.
is. The only reason I know
Yes,
that
like
is I
this.
know no sign language except for what I learned during the Torch Song trilogy, as directed by one Mr. Harvey Firestein, and he does an opening monologue as a drag queen,
Okay.
and he's like, "Fuck," and I was like, "Oh, yay! That'll come in handy."
Any hearing impaired cute people that you meet will definitely be grateful.
I mean, if I hadn't had that in my back pocket, I always have like, oh, they usually get the drift with that too.
You could also, here's a new one. This, it's like pulling towards you. This is want. So you can be like, I want you.
Oh, ooh, Bijou, good to know. Good to know.
They're multilingual.
Did I put this up? Oh, I dare, Felicia. There we are. I was going to talk about the fingering skills of musicians and guitarists. We wouldn't have rock music if it wasn't for good fingering. Bijou, how has your past weeks been?
Well, I just came back from vacation from my Muggle job, so I'm pretty relaxed. I'm feeling pretty good, and now ready to go back to work and just ruin all of that.
I understand. There's Christopher's there going, oh no, we're late. Sláinte, sláinte, everyone, have a drink.
Cheers, darling.
Oh, that tastes so good. What are we drinking tonight?
I am finishing, so I'm actually going to be super good tonight because I haven't been super good recently. So I'm just finishing a bottle of Smoky Bay Australian Shiraz.
Fancy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, look, the price tag from the death is still on it. I'm a classy fucking bitch.
I do like an Australian Shiraz, I'm not going to lie.
I like an Australian. I don't care what type.
I
heard that I was going to be on with a drag queen, so I heard that we have to spill the tea, so that's what I'm drinking.
Life is a story. Oh my god! Wait, the Love Doctor's a drag queen?
Felicia's just a straight up queen. Well, straight's not the word, but it's
no. There's
definitely
nothing straight about her.
There's that little curve to the left. Jason McCullough has dropped in a comment with Felicia, you're supper good every night and twice on the weekends. Supper good. That's.
I'm getting it was the Last Supper.
The Last Supper. Cheers to not being super good recently, but drinking French red here. There we are. And the Love Doctor is a drag fool. I'd say, you know what? No, I think I'm very genuine with that. Is drag not genuine? Drag is pretty genuine as well. I don't know what the fuck why I caveated that.
Am I being disingenuine?
No, you are you, and you are fucking perfect. That's sorry. There's a lot of strong love between me and Felicia. And I'm going to continue it. Bijou Bisou, I definitely love and respect what you do, but I still getting to know you as well as I know Felicia. Felicia, how many years have we known each other, Felicia?
Let's not reveal how many years because I'm 21, okay? That's the lie we're going with today. No, we've known each other for... I was still at Shoppers, so 12, 13... We're close to 13 or 14. I'm pretty sure.
There it is. And I am a drag fool. We've got a few questions in on the Slido. The Slido link is down below. The code is hashtag TL60. So go to sli.do or slido.com. And that is the event code to ask your questions. We're going to be answering your questions about love, sex, and relationships. And there's also I want to hint at this. We got big news. We got a trio of big news coming tonight. A trio of big news. So everybody will be all excited. Are we ready for our first question? Ooh, we've only got 2 questions in the chat right now. So are we ready to start? I looked away. Was there head bobs?
Oh, I was just like, I'm talking, Bijou and I are signing back and forth. I'm like, I want you. I know it's two hands, but the other hand is occupied. I've said that so often.
Right?
That happens so often during this show. There we are. Let's take a look at the questions we have. The first question, since we start at the bottom, is why can't Batman go down on Catwoman? I'm not sure if this is being set up as a joke, but Felicia, you have the hot seat.
Great, because I don't know why Batman. It could be a joke. I don't know why Batman couldn't go down on Catwoman, because I'd go down on Catwoman. However, not the Anne Hathaway Catwoman. I would sooner die. Not the Halle Berry Catwoman. Not because I don't love Halle Berry. I love Halle Berry, but that movie was so terrible. It would be the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, or Eartha Kitt.
Oh,
it would be Michelle Pfeiffer, Eartha Kitt that I would personally dress up as Batman and go down on either of those cat women.
Boom. Bijou Bisou.
I don't know enough of the headcanon to be able to answer that question. There has been this thing going around. I'm just thank you. There's this whole thing going around about how like Batman and can't have sex. I don't know. Maybe he's worried because the tongue work that she might be used to. Maybe he just feels like a little bit inadequate that way. I'm not really sure. I wonder if they had sex, if it would be like in the 60s version with the, as we were talking about onomatopoeias, like the bam, whap, splat.
Hopefully it gets to the
I'd watch that. And Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt. That was my first right away when you were talking about Catwoman. Eartha Kitt. And that's it.
Now I have this amazing visual of Adam West just really going to town on Eartha Kitt. I'm like, wow, okay.
So I read this story about, just quickly, how Adam West and the person playing Robin, whose name eludes me, I'm so sorry, Burt Ward, they went to a party in LA, and it was an orgy, and they decided to stay in character the whole time, and they got kicked out because they kept acting as Batman and Robin.
I would sell both my testicles to have gone to that party. That sounds fabulous.
There's a book, I believe, based on that. I think it's Burt Ward's biography, and it's something like Under the Tights or something of that nature. Because apparently that wasn't the only orgy that they attended together.
Apparently it was a mistake, but you never know with these things.
Oh yeah. I just showed up at this orgy by mistake and then let everyone enter me by mistake.
Jason McCullough is saying 3 fingers of big news of whatever hole you want. All right, there's more details on the big news than I was expecting. Julie Newmar. We definitely have to remember Julie Newmar. I think I did a little. I had a little bit of time. I could Google a site bit. Apparently, Christopher has something to say here. How was Catwoman not a euphemism? The real question is how he couldn't go down on her unless Batman isn't straight. An acceptable possibility. There he is. He does have a strong latex fetish. Orgy, oops, well, can't be rude. There it is. All right. Apparently, there's the Harley Quinn HBO series is aimed at adults.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
That's real good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And apparently, for season 3, there was to be a scene with Batman going down on Catwoman. It's no. But the people of the heads of DC nixed it.
The heads of DC
nixed it, saying heroes don't do that. So apparently I'm a fucking villain. Who wants to go rob some banks? That's going to be my next question.
Be gay, do crime.
It's there we are. We're going to do that. It's what the fuck with that? All right, we're still waiting for questions to come in.
If going down on people is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Thank you. I just don't want to live in that world. That's not a world that interests me at all.
it's why am I lifting weights with my tongue if I can't do any of that fun stuff?
That's right.
No. There's a reason for working out that part. All right, we got some more questions coming in. All right, you ready for big news number one?
Yes.
All right, big news number one. Here we are. Tomorrow, I get my second job.
Your second shot or your second shot?
My second shot. As of today, people of my age could call in to have a chance to up when they're supposed to get it. I was supposed to have my second shot on August 11th. I'm having my second shot tomorrow.
Yes.
So that may kind of kill the weekend, but I am so happy to be going out and meeting with people and enjoying all those wonderful things you can do. Devin Upham is saying not all heroes wear capes, but villains give head. So, yeah, seriously, like what side do you want to be on at that point? It's fucking prudes. Why can't like you figure that Batman's ready for any situation. He should be ready for going down. That's.
I mean, if any of you have ever visited my Instagram, by the way, Chris, I added you to Instagram. You didn't add back, so you know. But if any of you have ever visited my Instagram, I have done Harley Quinn a number of times. Like I have done like every iteration of Harley because I absolutely am obsessed with her. And for the longest time, my tagline on Grindr, because it was basically all my Harley pics, because I'm classy. And I was just like, I'm just looking for my Joker. Like, I just want someone as fucked up and messed up as I am to play with. Like, I'm like, smashy, smashy, Mr. J.
I would rather have a Morticia Gomez relationship than a Harley Joker personally.
Morticia, little abusive. It's a little abusive.
She was his therapist. Like that's how it started. I'm just saying.
Most definitely. It's look, Morticia, like the Adams, is a far healthier relationship. Like by fucking far.
And you know that he goes down.
Oh, why he doesn't buy mustache wax? How do you think he keeps it so slick? There is. Chris was saying that they are getting their second job on Friday. Sorry, I'm so old. I keep forgetting that Instagram exists. All the Marvel heroes go down, and that's canon. There we are.
Head canon.
Marvel head canon. Marvel is definitely head and shoulders above DC on this regard. Just head and shoulders. Shoulders are a good place to rest thighs.
Oh my god.
What? Oh, sorry.
I needed more booze for this.
Is the depth still open? So I know you want to be good tonight. I will encourage you to be good.
I love how you're like, the depth's still open. I'll be like, yeah, I'll just be right back. Skadooch across the street in downtown Montreal. See how everyone's doing. If I don't come back, send help.
All right, are we ready for the next question? We've only managed to get one more question in, and there's only one person has pressed like on the show tonight. Please make sure that you hit like and share. That is the lifeblood for a show like this. So please make sure you hit like. And Devin is saying there's a reason he's Thor. All right.
He's got a speech impediment after going down, so he's very sore. When you didn't laugh.
Oh, that was fabulous.
All right, we're ready for the next question. It's just, I'm biting my tongue on this one. I'm biting my tongue. Here Lord. We are. Where is it? This is it. All right, the next question is being triggered selfish. Shit, I'm in the hot seat. All right. So is being triggered selfish? Yes and no. There's got to be an abject thing. Most times, if somebody is just being careless or not paying attention, they may do or say something, or maybe they're just not educated. A lot of the times, it's not an affront to an individual person. It is due to a lack of education, and. How can I state this? This is you want to understand that a lot of the times, this is going to come as a shock to a lot of people. Other people are not thinking about you,
Yeah.
right? And that includes in a negative way. So a lot of times, if somebody says something that they don't mean to say, or something that offends you or reminds you of past trauma, they're not doing it specifically to you. It's just because they're not educated. And being triggered, it's okay to feel triggered. It's okay to feel pain, to feel trauma, to have something to work out. To lash out for being triggered is not healthy and not usually productive. So if you can take that moment to engage and educate them, and it's not your responsibility to do so. First off, I'm not saying it's anyone's responsibility to do so, but just do your best to be a good person, and at the same time understand that most anybody who is callous is being callous because they're not paying attention to the other people around in their life, and that's, I think, the summation of how I feel about it. Please, if anyone ever feels that I trigger them, I would like to hear from you so I can rectify that as well, so I can increase my education, or at least increase my awareness when I do something casually that I was not thinking about. Felicia, you are in the hot seat.
Um, yeah, no, this one's tough for me because I can be very easily triggered. It really depends on what we're speaking of. But last summer, there was a scenario where I had slept with a guy, and when we were done, literally finished, he said, "So," he's like, are you gonna do something about the loose skin?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he was just like, "Well, I noticed that you must have lost a lot of weight. You've got some loose skin. Are you gonna like get it surgically removed?" Or, and that was an extreme, like that's a trigger for me. Like that is like, going after my body, especially when I'm lying next to you naked, is really like, that's a no-go for me. And so to your point, like you're right. I think it's about education, and I think it's not about snapping at the person. It really caught me off guard. So I was just like, "Listen, I'm not comfortable really talking about this." And he wouldn't let it go. Like he just kept going. He was just like, "No, it's a compliment. Like you should be so proud." And I was just like, I really don't want to talk about this. And he was just like, "I don't understand why you're being so defensive." He was just like, you should feel so good. Like you came such a long way. And I was just like, I can't believe I'm saying this a third time. Like, I hear you. And I really, like, for me, I'm very self-conscious. I don't like talking about it. And he just kept going until I finally had to ask him to leave. I was like, "Okay, you have to go now." Because, like, so, I think that, you're right. I really don't think it's about maybe educating in the moment, because sometimes you can't. But I think listening to someone when they say, "Listen, that's triggering for me," even if you don't get it, you might not understand it because you might not have that perspective. But I really think that it's important you listen, go like, "Okay, so I'm sorry," and then maybe you can circle back at a later time if the person is open to that, and you can educate them later when maybe I have clothes on would have been a time for me to talk about that. That would have been great. So just be mindful when someone says, "I'm sorry, that's kind of a sensitive subject for me," or "That's triggering for me," to maybe back off, like would be the polite, respectful thing to do.
Definitely, and definitely about being respectful. Bijou, we're going to have you here in a moment. Just Christopher has mentioned that I'd be triggered by that loose skin comment too. Wow, like wow. But sometimes when I trigger people, it's not because I want to, but just because I'm an idiot, and sometimes I'm working on it. And there's only so much leash that we should give people as they're working on it. But at the same time, Bijou.
So my short answer is no. No, it's not. I think that a lot of people say the word triggered when they mean upset, because being triggered is more than just getting angry or upset at something. It's like it can be a physical reaction, which is why some people who, when they are triggered, are not able to decide whether or not it's something that they are going to choose to do, because it actually will manifest in a physical way. So my answer is no. And I think that, to your point, Felicia, as soon as someone tells you, listen, this is not about you. I mean, if you have the wherewithal to say you didn't do anything wrong, if you're triggered by something that is just, casual, like you didn't do anything wrong, I am feeling this way. It's not about you, but I need to be in my feelings right now. And if the person doesn't respect that, then I think that you need to take a second and think about who's the one who's being selfish here. And that's my answer to that.
I agree. Well
Boom.
said.
Well said. Definitely well said. There's only one more question left on the Slido at this point. This is way too early to be ending the show.
No. People, put your questions. We did not do 3 hours of makeup for y'all to ask 3 questions. Okay. So get your questions in there.
Boom. All right. And immediately another question has shown up. So let's go to the next question. Give people time to type in more questions. Or if you don't want to be anonymous, if you want to be honest, you can actually leave your questions into the chat below or beside the viewing window right now. So our next question that we have is starting at the bottom. The next one is wow, the questions are coming in. You good on you getting those questions in. My wife might end up being my boss. Almost the first time sleeping with my boss. Bad or good? So that's the question. Is the wife might end up being my boss almost the first time sleeping with my boss. Bad or good? You have the hot seat, Bijou.
I think good for sure. If that's your kink, maybe talk about it beforehand and see whether you actually want to bring that dynamic. Or you could just section that part of your life out and not really take it into consideration in the bedroom. But if that's your steez, then yeah, go for it.
Boom. We got to go for it. We have a question. Flavio, late to the party. Hey, welcome back, Flavio. It's good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like. My answer is, your wife might end up being your boss. All well and good, but make sure HR is aware that this is a pre-existing relationship, because you don't want those fuckers kind of meddling around in your bedroom because they got cold hands.
I don't know. I'm going to sort of piggyback off of Bijou here because I really think it's kind of like, do you want to bring that into the bedroom? I know I'm very different. Like I categorize my life. I'm very much like little box, little box, little box. And I'm really bad at taking things out of one box and a lot of boxes. Maybe it's because I never had one of my own. But I'm not really good at sort of making those jumps. So I think I would have to keep it separate. I think maybe boss outside, but in the bedroom we renegotiate, if you will, the power structure. Because I think I would, I think that would be a struggle for me. And I think it would be less of a struggle in bed. I think I could handle that. I think I'd have more of a struggle at work, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's a tough one for me.
I don't know why, but you reminded me, I was in Toronto and working at a hotel, and I had a staff member who was having difficulty, and so they came to me for help, and so I helped them out. I think it was with a float count or something similar like that. So I went through, I saw where they made their error, and I didn't just, fix it for them. I showed them where and all that, and they were behind me, and I remember distinctly him whispering in my ear, was thank you, take me home and ride me, and I was going, excuse me. He said, oh sorry, no, I thought that was an inside voice. So
oh my,
it was
I said the quiet part loud and the loud part quiet.
Yeah, exactly. That was exactly the moment. Santos. That was his name. So perfect saint, basically. Boss of the streets, wife in the sheets. There we are.
See, out of context, that could be taken really badly.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was just like, and if you're just tuning in, there was context.
There was context, so it's boss in the sheets, wife in the sheet, boss in the streets. There we are. Oh, we have more questions. Are we ready for more questions before I get myself in trouble? Did everybody answer that? Yes, I think everybody answered that one. Let's just go on. The next question: what is more technically challenging, cunnilingus or fellatio? Fellatio. We can get on to what is the spelling, but Felicia, you have the hot seat.
Okay, so I've never cunnilingus the cunny, but I've tocus linguist, and I'm quite adept at that. But I love fellatio. I think there's actually a lot of coordination during fellatio. And let me tell you, I'm someone that, like, when I was little, learning to do this took me a very, very long time. That's why I still show it off. You're welcome. I can rub my stomach and pat my head. So I think there's a lot involved in filleting someone, especially if you want to do it well. They don't call it a blow job for nothing. It's a job. Like, if you love it, like I love makeup artistry, and that was my job, but I loved it. So I love filleting, but there's technique required. And I think it's something that, like any good job skill, you have to update it every so often. Like, you can't just be like, I've learned to do it. Like, you've learned a technique, and like, how can you add to that? What are some different things we can do? Now, that being said, I mean, the first time I saw a vagina, I was channel surfing with Josh, and they had given like us free porn, and it was just kind of there on screen. And I swear to Jesus, I thought it was a face hugger from Aliens. I really, honest to God, did. And then Josh was like, that's a vagina. And I was just like, so there's so much involved there that I wouldn't know where to begin. And that's not even me being like, I respect the vagina. I came out of a vagina. I'm very close to the vagina. I used to think I wanted a vagina. But I don't know if I could do it. I wouldn't know where to start. I'd look at it and I'd be like, is there a user manual? Like, I don't know.
Some people need to get one. Sorry, not a user, but for somebody who... Never mind. I'll get into that later. Bijou.
I think I might be the expert on the panel for this one. I'm going to say fellatio is harder. It's more physically demanding. It's like, think about it this way. I love your job correlation. I'm going to go with that. So picture fellatio as like you're chopping down trees. Like, you basically know what the physics is, but it can be physically demanding and difficult. Whereas cunnilingus would be like computer programming, whereas it's less physically demanding, but you need to know what you're doing in order to be able to do it properly. So that's my answer to that. I enjoy cunnilingus more. That's my preference. Maybe because of the whole physical demanding thing of the fellatio. Yeah, I think that physically fellatio is really difficult for me.
I beg of you to write an essay about that answer, because that is one of the best things I've ever. Like,
in my thesis.
Chopping wood. I'm like, so a vagina requires a hacker, is what you're saying. You gotta get in there and know the code. Although
there is a scene in Swordfish where he's writing code while getting fellatio. It's my favorite scene in a movie ever. Yep.
Full circle.
As Christopher Murtaugh saying, did anyone not come out of a vagina? 2/3 of my kids did.
Ooh.
I don't think Charlie Brown came out of a vagina. I think he was a C-section. He was the round-headed kid.
Oh yeah.
Right. As a computer programmer, I'm triggered by that. There we are. Bijou Bisou is a true expert. There we are. I have not answered that question. I'm going to. Yeah, I think I'm going to agree. Cunnilingus is a passion project for me. I will have to say, just there's like while you do it, all you really need to do is to be listening to your partner, whether or not you should be speeding up, slowing down a little harder, a little softer. There's a little bit of hand-eye coordination, or not hand-eye, but hand-tongue coordination. If you're using your fingers as well, just bring that in, give that the little curve and tickle. All these wonderful things of how to do that. Like the penis is done. Like no vagina is identical, that's for sure. But penis, there seems to be a lot more variety. I'm assuming there. I've received a lot more bad blowjobs than I have received or had comments that I wasn't doing well enough with cunnilingus. So I don't know if that says to my skill or to the skill of the people that I'm with. Bijou saying that they've received bad cunnilingus.
No. I've gotten the same note. Like I've gotten more notes that like someone would prefer that I use a different technique when it comes to a fellatio than cunnilingus. I don't have any no with that thus far. So
I'm just so enthusiastic that I love when someone addresses it. Like if I'm going down on you and there's something you don't like or something that you want, just fucking say it.
Tell me.
I'm not a mind reader, okay? I'm not Miss Cleo up here. I don't know. So I'm going to go with your body. If you're heaving and breathing and moving and vibrating and, I'm going to be like, okay, this is going well. But if I'm not given any cues, say something. And that's just, I think that's across the board when it comes to sexuality. Like people are just so afraid. And I'm just like, okay, but if we're here and we're naked and this is happening now, I think we can dispense of the oh good, like penis. Like I'm like, just let's go. Like we're in it. We're in it to win it, In
it to win it, definitely. I do want there is a part actually of the penis that I feel is sadly not paid attention to by people who are just learning how to orally pleasure it, is the frenulum. The frenulum, I think, does not get enough attention, and so that is the on anyone who's circumcised, it's that little like tendony bit that's right at the cleft of the glands, and you see that little tendony bit going down towards the shaft itself. So it's all right.
We are going to be on Grindr tonight. Let me tell you. Let me fucking tell you. And it's a grinder kind of night, boy.
Boom. Leon McDuff. He was not
yeah.
Born.
Oh my God. Are we actually getting Shakespeare references?
Shakespeare.
Wow.
We are classy.
Bravo.
We're classy up in here.
Love Doctor. Like Masterpiece Theater up in here.
Oh,
Masterpiece Theater.
It's good.
Break off a piece and hand it around. We got a question. We got a non-anonymous question. Any tips on ways to escape a bad date, nice or not? There's tons of ways. I've got. I'm in the hot seat, so I'm gonna say. Usually, if it's the first date, you want to actually have set up a go. Have a friend that will text you at a certain point or call you. So you have to say either you can swipe to ignore when you see the friend and it's going well. But if it's not going well. What? Oh, my mom's sick. All right, I'm sorry, I have to go. Something of that nature to go. First dates should always be in a public location. And I definitely, I swear by first dates to be in a public location. Because, Oprah says never follow them to a second location. Felicia.
I always try and be respectful, but I'm always very honest. Like I don't do the escape call. I have friends that get me to do the escape call for them. I'm not a huge fan of even doing it for people. I'm just like, just tell them. They'll be like, I'm sorry, this isn't what I thought it would be. I think it's okay to sort of be honest about it. The one thing I hate though, and I'm gonna throw this out here, is when you both know you're not interested, but someone feels the need to sort of throw out the I'm not interested just to make it a point like they said it first. Like that really irritates me. It's like the you know what, like I'm not sure this is working. Like I see us more as friends. Like, and then they're like, oh my God, I totally like yes, friends. Like I only wanted to be friends with you. And you're just like, okay, well, like I don't really think so. It's kind of like be polite and respectful, but be honest. Like it's a first date, right? Like you're not walking down the altar. So I think like you're kind of in a place where the whole point of a date, I've ordered things in restaurants that I'm like, I'm not going to order this again. I didn't like it very much. That doesn't mean it was bad. It just means I didn't like it very much. And maybe I have a friend who would love to eat you.
Oh, the blinks at the end really sold it, Felicia. Bijou.
My strategy has been to awkwardly continue and finish the date and then regret it for days afterwards. But you know what? I've had bad dates where it started off really bad because we were both really nervous. And I think that there's a difference between like not gelling with somebody and just not like being kind of not knowing how to react to the other person. So I've had like first dates where I had to ask after the date, was that a date? Because I'm not sure. But I would normally just say, hey, listen, this was nice. I think that the friend route is probably the way that we're going to want to go. But sometimes I'll just stick it out and it goes pretty well afterwards. Once you're comfortable, go on a second date. Like, unless you're 100% certain, but if it's just like, oh, I was nervous, I wasn't sure, like, go on a second date. And if it's the same thing, just be like, listen, you're nice. It's not going to happen again.
Blue.
I was on a date once, and the way I got the brush off was, actually, this has happened to me twice, which is really kind of tragic and sad. But where we were sitting in a Starbucks having our coffee, and my date's mutual friend sat down, and then I realized was jerking my date off under the table. And so that's a pretty clear indication that the date's over when, like, I'm not the one touching your penis during our first date. I really think that it's time to wrap up. And that has happened not once, but twice. When I got to tell my friends the second story of like, do you remember the time that someone got jerked off on my date and it wasn't me? And they were like, oh God, yes. And I'm like, well, it happened again.
Oh.
So is this a situation like with I forgot Batman, where he went into an orgy by accident? Is this what's happening here? Are you having your first dates at an orgy? Because that would make sense.
Now, listen, not all my first dates have been on orgies, but you meet people where you can.
I'm just saying.
We've got a lot of comments to get to. We have another question that's in the chat I'm going to come back to. But Flavia is saying the greatest aphrodisiac is communication. Oh, it turns me on. There we are. Lynn Alex is agreeing. She is like a Bijou Bisou. Lusty Onyx is hello, fantastic and gorgeous kings and queens. Kiss, kiss, kiss. What are you drinking? I am, of course, with Madison Park Breakfast Gin. They have yet to sponsor me, but I highly recommend it because it is very good gin that includes tea. It is the best gin that includes Earl Grey tea that I'm aware of.
I finished my tea and I'm just drinking water.
Oh. Hi, Lusty.
After my first divorce, it's weird that I'm saying first on this, but it's after my first divorce, one of the first sort of dates I went on, it was like I felt like I was having trouble connecting, but I was a little bit pent up at that time, and I asked if I could kiss them. And when I kissed them, the date very much changed. Apparently, they weren't that interested until, I pressed them up against the wall. I asked permission first, but I pressed them up against the wall, and we dangled tongues for a little bit and pressed against one another. And then I got the invite back to their place. That's hello. All right.
The same thing's happened to me, but the reverse. It's like, oh yeah, I like you. You're really hot. Oh God, no. This isn't for me. See you later.
There we are. And Lusty is given a hi, Felicia, as well. We got the next question from the chats. What is the AVE? What is the AVE? Uh, I might be stumped on that one. Bijou, are you familiar with the AVE is?
Uh, mm, Autorisation de voyage électronique.
Please let be that. Oh my God, please.
Kristen Allaire, we're not sure exactly what that stands for. If I was to take a stab at it, I mean, there's the Avenue, which is a very well-known street in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
Uh, AVA is the Adult Video Awards. I'm not sure what AVE would be. The Adult Video Experience, I guess. If you're
I still have not received my adult video award. I think that's terrible. Now I'm owed an Oscar and an adult video award, ironically, for the same film. But yeah, no, I have absolutely no idea what AVE is, but I'm really enjoying you guys sort of like trying to hash it out. I'm like, oh, I don't know. The adult video execution. No, that got dark. That got real dark real fast.
the Adult Video Experience.
You went to experience, I went to execution. To each their own. I got a Marie Antoinette fetish. How's your head? No complaints.
It's in a basket.
A tisket, a tasket, her head is in a basket.
All right. Flavia is saying the Love Doctor is saying he is an exceptional kisser. Noted. I am only repeating what was said to me, so we'll leave it at that. The person was also very pissed after a couple weeks of dating because they complained I was too new. That was their complaint.
Yeah, you were too what?
I was too new. I had just only come out from. I only had been separated. I hadn't even been divorced yet, and they were upset in the fact that, well, hold it, you need to go out there and experience everything.
But not with me.
Well, no, that's just it. They didn't want to be a rebound, but they realized that because there is the grieving sex. Is everyone familiar with grieving sex?
Yeah.
Like when you're grieving a relationship, you need to kind of get over it, and so there is that immediate sort of rush and enjoyment and the excitement that comes with that, because you have a lot of pent up feelings that you want to share. Grieving sex. We're getting into grieving sex. You have a lot of pent up emotions and desires that come from the death of that relationship that you want to put somewhere, and you are so used to being in that relationship and having that person, not having that person anymore, means you need sort of a surrogate so you can find yourself and then go out and be an eligible person to date. And I think that is necessary for most all relationships. I don't think anyone can healthily go from the end of one relationship into another relationship. Bijou doesn't agree with me at all on that.
Is it hot in here?
I say conventional wisdom, and conventional wisdom means that there's always exceptions to the rules. I can hear Bijou's partner laughing in the background. But
So
does anyone else have any? We're moving on. We're not touching that at all.
I dated a guy who was divorced last year, and it was really funny because he had tried to meet me for a long time during quarantine. I kept shooting him down, and like one day he just came out and he was just like, "Why do you keep turning me down?" And I was like, "Because you look like a fuck boy. Like honestly, like you just look like someone who is just going to screw around, and that's not what I'm looking for right now." And I said, "So unless you can tell me something that's going to surprise me, like you're about to get like blocked." And because he had been like trying for like over a month, and I was just like, "You're just like, I'm not interested." And he goes, "I have 2 kids," and I was just like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, one's 15 and one's 13. Now he had originally told me his age was 30, so I was like, oh, wait, hold up, like something isn't jiving. And then it all came out. He was like, "Actually, I'm not 30. He's like, "I'm 41 and I'm divorced, but we had been married for 15 years. And I swear to God, after that, I never so actively tried to pursue someone in my life. This was like the holy grail for me. I was like, this will validate me feeling like a woman because you already came with kids, so I'm not expected to produce any, which I cannot. And you've been married for 15 years, which means you can commit. I wanted this man so much. It did not work out. But I really, really wanted it to, because I really wanted to be wife number 2, essentially, is what I was looking for.
Boom. Now, had they had a relationship between the separation and you? I know that they chased you for a while.
Yeah, no, I think they had no relationship. No, I think they had been sleeping with people, and that was totally fine. But I was like determined to date this person. Like I was just like, it literally, like it was my holy grail. The only thing that would have made it any hotter is if he had told me he was a Jewish doctor. I would have been like, and we're married.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
You're never cool. You're never right.
Every 70s sitcom mom is super happy at that point. Christopher Murtaugh saying, with a little scrutiny, it turns out that conventional wisdom is neither conventional nor wise. So I just got a good slam there.
Does it count if we were dating before they broke up? Does that count?
Well, I think if it's an open relationship, though, it does it that does not count. That's going from monogamous to another.
We're okay, babe.
All right, Christian Allaire, he hasn't clarified what AVE stands for yet, but he has another question. What is your dirtiest sexual fantasy? Is it dirtiest sexual? That doesn't mean the laundry.
How am I in the hot seat again? What the fuck? Why am I always in the goddamn hot seat? What kind of shit is this? This game is ranked.
Once every third question.
Okay. My dirty, I mean, Jesus Christ, my dirtiest. I mean, like, there's like dirty, and there's like, you know, Felicia's gonna be arrested. No, that's not true. I don't get that dirty. Okay. I'm like, I know it's common, like, I know it's out there, I know there's porn that exists for it, but like, because I'm Catholic, I've always wanted to blow a priest, like, so, and I understand the implications of that. Like, I understand that there's a lot of morality issues around that, and I'm still Catholic, so I'm like, I'm sure God would not be loving me for this, but I really, really want to blow a priest. Like, I have, like, and it's really tacky too, because I have like one of those 80s gay porn themes in my head where it's like, I go into the church and like, it's confession and I'm like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. And then as I'm telling him what I've done, I can clearly hear he's masturbating. So I just like get up and enter the confessional and you know, and have sex with the priest. And honestly, it was the power of Christ that compelled me.
Oh, feedback. All right.
I plead the fifth.
Well, with their partner listening, they don't want anyone to hear.
Oh, he knows. Nope, not gonna do it. Yeah, nope.
I love that we keep flashing back to Bijou and he's like, no.
All right. You know, saying you don't want to answer is an honest answer, and that is perfectly acceptable. We don't want you to do anything that you're not comfortable with, Bijou. Apparently we can't find out what you're comfortable with, but it's all... Sorry.
By design.
By design. That was a little bit of a cheap shot. By the way, Lynn Alex is saying, I prefer the term rebound over grieving sex. See, the thing is, grieving sex can also be used for sex at a funeral. It includes a priest.
Oh, God, that's even hotter. Oh, my God.
Cemeteries.
A priest at a funeral.
Cemeteries are good. Cemeteries are good.
Yes,
cemeteries. By the way, Jason McCullough is saying, Bijou Bisou, can you give us a hint?
Nope. Literally any hint is nope. Not gonna happen. Let's say I said cemeteries, and that's gonna be it. That's my answer. Final answer, Alex.
All right. I don't know if it's the dirtiest fantasy at all, but this is a situation. Yeah, actually, Felicia, you mentioned a story where a bad date that had gone when somebody arrived at your date and was giving your partner sort of hand job underneath the table. Uh, I was dating multiple people, and I didn't realize that one of the people I was dating had sort of caught the feels a little bit. And they were aware that I was meeting somebody new and I was going to be dating, and they knew that I was a fucking shameful fuckboy and whatnot. That I usually went to the coffee shop very close to my apartment, and while I was at that coffee shop waiting for that person to arrive, who was to arrive, but this other person I was saying, so they showed up. For my first date with this other person, and I didn't realize at the time that they had sort of caught the feels. So when the person I was dating arrived, I had to explain, oh, it's just an accident. This person just sort of showed up, because I didn't realize it was by her design that she showed up to sort of scope the competition a little bit. And then later that night, we were all in my bedroom at my apartment, and we gotta love, the cafes, etc. And we were playing sort of a truth or dare, I think it was, because we were all topless, and I got asked what is my greatest sexual fantasy. And here I am with two topless women, and believe in truth, so I answered honestly. I said my greatest fantasy is to actually wake up beside someone I truly love, who loves me truly in return. And neither of you is that person. We still had a very fun night. It was still a very fun night. But...
no!
No! Oh my god!
Oh my god! Swear to Jesus, I'd have kicked your ass.
It was a fun night. The nature of the relationships that had been defined, that it was basically to be just a fun physical thing, and I had no idea that one of those people, the reason that they showed up was because they had sort of began to catch the feels, and with a little bit more knowledge and communication.
But talk about setting someone up for a fall, because you saw my rate. That was a fucking genuine reaction. I was like, oh my god, it's the sweetest thing. Fucking marry me. And then you're like, oh, it's not you though. It's not you. And I'm like, oh, less fun.
Like, that would make somebody who's not even interested still upset.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like, I was upset and I wasn't even there.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, they were not.
Well, that's fine. I'm just saying.
To say,
that's right. Bijou's just saying. I'm like, you're lucky it wasn't Bijou and I, because
IJS.
Like, hold up, what the fuck did he just
Bye.
say? What the fuck did he just say?
We're gonna go by ourselves over there, and bye.
Exactly. Bye. And I'm gonna fuck a priest.
All right. It's Felicia, you keep mentioning that, but you realize that I almost became a priest, right? I'm the youngest son of an Irish Catholic family.
How almost is almost?
Pre-seminary classes.
Oh, okay. That's pretty almost.
I was into it up until I debauched a nun. So there's... Well, no, she wasn't quite a nun. If I tell the full story... Should I tell the full story?
I need to know about how you almost debauched a full nun.
Well, no, she wasn't a full... She was still a novice at that point. She was getting her master's in divinity. She was a few years older than me. And I lived in the country. New Year's Eve, I was going to spend the night at her place, her and her roommates. And I went I went out with them, and we actually had New Year's Eve in a church hall kind of party. And I didn't realize, like, her mother was the bartender, and her mother knew that her daughter was interested, and I kept on being fed drinks all night. I'd like I bought a certain amount of tickets, but it didn't like I didn't keep track. I just kept on having full drinks in front of me the entire time, so I got fairly sloshed, and I remember a little bit of the walk back to their place. Not the mother wasn't living there, but her and her roommate's place. And the next thing I remember is sort of waking up with a hand on my penis and a breast in my mouth. Uh,
As you do.
As you do.
as you do, and that's that.
If I had a
that's,
dime for
so,
every time.
which, by the way, that's not right. Anyone who is drunk cannot legally consent. But apparently, she had dotes. Her mother knew that she had dotes. She was the only child, and so I guess mom wanted grandkids. So if her daughter was doting, her calling, her best to encourage that. And all right.
You know, I have been a drag queen in Montreal for, I'm not going to say how many years, but a very, very long time. And your life is so much more interesting than mine, I swear to God. I
decades over.
Yeah, the time that like an almost nun put her breast in your mouth and had her hand on your cock. I'm like, no, haven't had that. Haven't experienced that.
Not necessarily a good thing, because it was somebody who I thought was a friend. And
I agree. And that leads to the question, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
I was trying. I was like double dutching my way into like a bad habits joke, and I couldn't quite get there.
You're Canadians. Are you fans of the Monks or not?
Sorry?
The Monks.
Like what monk?
Sorry, the Monks is a band that from the UK, but they're sort of disgraced in the UK. But they had 2 #1 albums in Canada. Like the second album wasn't even released in the UK. No, all right. There we are, the Monks. For anyone that wants to check them out, there's problematic things among them, but they're very famous for the song "I Get Drugs in My Pocket and I Don't Know What to Do with Them." But
I'll tell you what to do with them. You give them to Felicia.
there we are. We got all right. The balls on the doctor. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. Definitely, and treat them with respect as well. And respect includes honesty. Pre-seminary is like pre-cum. True, both can get you pregnant. A naked flying nun. Why is she naked? Wait for it. Bad habit. There we are.
There it is.
There's the bad habit joke. We have another question in the private chat. We'll get to the anonymous questions shortly. So here we are with another question. Christian has been very brave and given us all the questions in the chat, showing their name with them. What are the best foods to use during foreplay? Oh, I'm in the hot seat. I'm not a fan of food play. It's the big thing. There's things that I've used. I'm one of my earliest experiences that included food also included strawberries, and just sort of like putting strawberries in my mouth and then using the texture of the strawberry on the clitoris when I went down, using that. So, crushing it against the clit. But again, that there's a lot of sugar in strawberries, so you want to make sure that everything's cleaned well afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I really enjoy as food, as foreplay, unless it's a good conversation over a nice meal before getting into the physical aspects thereof. Felicia.
Not into food play at all. I'm really, I think being someone who has struggled with their weight their entire life, like I do not want food in the bedroom. I do not want any reference to food in the bedroom. Alcohol's fine in the bedroom. Like I remember, and I don't mean like just being drunk. Like, I mean, I've had like bottles of shit poured on me before, and that's totally fine, because despite the fact alcohol still has like a shit ton of calories, I don't consider it calories. I'm like, if I could sustain a liquid diet and drink nothing but vodka, I would. And I grew up in the West Island, so that is a possibility. But like vodka and Ambien, yay! But that being said, no food in the bedroom. However, you want to be a good lover after you give me your big dick, you want to get me a Big Mac, we are good to go. friend. Good to go.
Bijou.
Lobster. It
In the bedroom?
it warms me right up. No. For foreplay. You give me a lobster, I'm good to go.
I'm sorry. I
such a
just
bad
picture.
Jew.
Yeah, exactly. Like who needs nipple clamps? Just throw a live lobster in there. I'm sorry, but that I don't know if that. Yeah, that does qualify as bestiality, and animals cannot consent.
Honestly, I would say just stay away from anything chocolate. Stay away from chocolate because of the color. You,
Oh,
you know, see, right?
Shiza.
Well, because I do in my performances, I've done splashing, and you have to think about these things because if you use chocolate, it doesn't give like the look that you're looking for.
Or a very specific look that
Right, yeah, and
that's
a different thing. If you're into that, then that's fine. Anything like non-dairy, because dairy will really just stick to your body hair, and it's no bueno. Edible underwear is fun. Or like I used to have like a candy bra or like candy pasties. That's fun. But be careful because if you aspirate that, then like the Heimlich, it's not really the you're like looking for.
I mean,
not very
unless you are,
sexy.
unless like breath play, enters into your beds, you're like, ah, from food to breath play.
Boom. All right. Devin is saying dry saltine crackers, grapefruit juice, and a nice hot mustard. Did I miss something there? All right. Grapefruit juice. I can definitely agree. I have played with whipped cream, but again, I think again dairy products it does sort of stick to the hair. The Cool Whip, which is like a coconut oil base. Is we got a big smile from Bijou. Is definitely something to consider. Sandra Delilah is saying a fat cucumber. Just don't leave it on the side table drawer and forget about it, only to find it a month later all decayed. Oh, the shame.
That sounds oddly specific.
It sounds oddly specific indeed. Please also make sure if you do use a vegetable that way that you washed it thoroughly to make sure that there's no pesticides on it, or wrap it in a condom ahead of time. So those are acceptable ways to use that. The Heimlich maneuver is very sexy. The Heimlich, Christopher.
It's good.
It's just putting that out there. It's just sorry. I'm having fun. Are we having fun? Or is it time for the next bit of big news?
I love big news.
I think so.
Big news. All right. You know what? I said 3 earlier, but I remember 2 for sure. All right. All right. The first big news starts out with bad news and then good news. All right. Wednesday, July 21st, there will not be a Love Doctor live stream.
That is bad news.
That is bad news. The good news is the Vaudeville variety show featuring the Love Doctor returns to the Wiggle Room July 21st, 2021, post-COVID. There is reduced capacity. Tickets will be available online shortly, but you can get your tickets and find out who the performers are going to be for that show. It is going to be so good to be in front of a live audience again. And with the fact that I have my double jabs, I will be so accepting of hugs. I'll probably I might keep my mask on for it, but just to respect you and your family and the people in your bubble's safety. Towels on the floor, steam up your bathroom, ice cream, lay your partner down, ice cream, and lick it off of them. That's Flavio's suggestion. Again, milk products does sort of stick to the hair, as well as you want to watch the sugar content of the ice cream, not for diet reasons, but just because of where it can go.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
But I mean, if you're right next to a shower, then just shower right after.
Showering off.
Shower right after.
I might do drag, but I ain't no Dairy Queen.
It's good.
We got to get a T-shirt of that. We got to get a T-shirt of that for you. All right. How do we get reservations at the Wiggle Room? The Wiggle Room will be opening up the reservations very shortly. Sandra saying, "Oh my God, that's so exciting!" Jason McCullough with a woot. So currently, we are believing that we will be doing the COVID protocols from the last time that little period we were open in September and October. So there will be the plexiglass dividers between the couches, but this is something that's going to be happening. So pay attention to the Wiggle Room, and also I will keep updates here. So please make sure that you have subscribed to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you will be aware that this is happening. And before we continue, because we have lots more questions to get to, I do want to remind you that this show is was supported entirely by your donations. So the link tree at the bottom where it says "Buy me a drink," that's my manager. That money will be divided by all the three talents in here. I'm not giving my manager a fucking cent of it. So it's the talents you're seeing on stage here. We'll all get an equal share of whatever you donate to that tonight. So that's donate to the channel. It's linktr.ee/Paul Ash and buy a drink. And that would be going to everybody you're seeing on this stage here. Christopher Murtaugh saying he's going to be there July 21st. I can't wait. Tomorrow I'm getting the job. 2 weeks after that, I everyone else who's had their job, I'm willing to be a perfect hug slut for. So, 2 weeks after tomorrow, if you want a hug, I'm going to be given a good full body hug. No fucking A-frame hugs. We're talking about the proper hugs. Maybe that's the third piece of big news. The proper hugs. Like the A-frame hugs are great for friends, but fucking sexy people who are watching the show, the people on the show, anyone who wants a full body hug from me, I will be so happy to deliver that because I am, the COVID thirst is gone on, and I am a single man at this point in time, and it is just driving me bonkers at this point. But I have self-control, so I will try to be a good person.
Yeah, me too.
Well, physical contact doesn't need to be sexual to be.
No, but the
like,
non-A-frame hug is
yeah.
The full body hug has a sexual connotation.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
right.
No. I'm a full body hugger with everyone, but I okay, this is gonna sound weird, but like I give like good mom hugs. Like, so if you're having like a day and you're like, I just can't deal, like I'm gonna hug you like a mom hug. Like it's okay. Like I got you. Like you're okay. So, and it's not sexual. It's totally just like I think that there's something to like bear hugging someone where it's like you're pressing your energy into them. I mean, you have to make sure that it's someone that you know and that they're comfortable with that. Like, don't go bear hugging people you don't know. But like, you can usually tell when someone needs like a hug, like not like one of those like little like, but like,
or like the slide hug. You're like over the shoulder.
I hate the like. We hugged. I'm like, that's like a bro hug.
My partner tried to give me one of those the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, we live together.
Shame on them. If they're listening, shame to you. Look at that. See that finger coming right at the camera? Just shame. Shame.
The love doctor is screaming shame, and I'm right back to my priest thing. I'm like, yes, Father, I'm so fucking dirty.
Felicia, did you like season 2 of Fleabag?
I never watched Fleabag.
Oh, you need to watch Fleabag.
I've been meaning to start Fleabag.
I know.
I watched like one episode. I was compelled, but I just lost the interest. That happens a lot.
You know what? I have to say, the creator of that, it came from their one person show, and they did the one person show. They did 2 seasons. Though they have a successful acting career, they are continually being pestered to do a season 3 of Fleabag, and they said, no, I've told the story. I've told the story I needed to say, and I it's out of my system. I don't think I need to revisit. There is things that are left hanging at the end of season 2, but they need to be left hanging.
I do like when stories like...
I really appreciate the fact that they had enough creative control that they couldn't be forced into doing a season 3.
Yeah. Agreed.
You can tell when a project should not have continued.
Oh yeah.
You can
Sex and
tell
the
like there's
City
a
movie
turning
too?
point. I never really watched Sex in the City. I found it really cringy. Even like the early episodes were very like when they saw that episode where they had like the cameras and he wasn't telling people about the cameras, and she walks in and she's watching it. I was like, okay, click, I'm done. So, but like just certain shows, you know when the tipping point is, and you're like, oh, I wish that like The Good Place. The Good Place ended like at the right time. Schitt's Creek ended at the right time. You told the right story. It's done. That's it. Like I can appreciate that.
And Fleabag, the cringy moments are learning experiences, and
Right.
they're treated as learning experiences
Exactly.
in the show, which I think is great. Chris Murtaugh saying, "I'll be post 2 weeks, second job too." So free hugs. Free hugs. The time is coming. Christian Allaire has another question for us. Are we ready for this? Are we ready for Christian's question?
Ready.
One finger or two? One finger or two? You are in the hot seat, Bijou.
Come, I'll tell you a secret.
There we have the one. You know what? One is a good starter place. Well, Felicia does remember that I had when I did stand-up comedy, that I had a joke where I talked about the male prostate, and I said, there's a dirty trick. It's up the bum. Why am I using 2 fingers? So that was part of the joke. But it always confused the crowd because they thought I accidentally did 2 fingers every time I said it. So there it is. I think 1 is a good place to start, but 2 if you can get there. And if you're talking, some things are thicker than just 2 fingers. So if you want to make sure that a partner is ready for something a little thicker than that, than 1 finger, then you need to sort of work your way up. But the thing is, never just start out with a woof. No, all times, just a little bit of working up. Felicia.
Yes, fully agree. So 1 finger, unless you're Hagrid, is probably not going to do much for me. I'm probably going to be like, okay. But to your point, like you want to introduce the digits sort of one at a time. I was with someone a week ago, and that was not the case. Like I don't know what was going on back there, but I can promise you it was not 1 digit. And like I understand I look like a girl who's been around the block. I fully appreciate that. But there's still the romance of like 1 digit at a time, please. Because like straight to this really assumes a lot about what's happening in my cavernous spelunking region.
It has to do with your comfort as well as preparedness.
Yes. Yeah, well. Very much comfort, because let me tell you, it can be very uncomfortable. And, you know, it's funny, too, because I had a friend of mine who used to tell the story about a girl he went to high school with. And this is kind of the opposite, because this is a girl who I guess had a lot of experience with anal penetration. And she was talking to her lover, and she was just like, baby, could you stick a finger in my ass? And so he did. And she's like, can you, like, stick another finger in my ass? And then he did. And by the time she even started talking about the third one, she couldn't get it all out. So she's like, baby, could you fist me? Fist me. Started screaming. And I'm like, okay, that's also a jump. Like, you know, you're like 1, you're like 2, and then like all of a sudden, you know, you got someone screaming fist me. So really, guys, like think about, like, you know, how do we count? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, fist.
All right, this is the question. Has anyone else accidentally fisted someone? Is it just me?
Accidentally.
Just sort of like work it up, and then all of a sudden, everything's in.
Can't say as I have.
I was with as well.
I usually
I don't have small hands
in drag, and so I usually have like bracelets on, so I don't think accidentally fisting someone, like I don't want to lose jewelry.
It's expensive.
You know what I mean? Like, some of my stuff's nice. Like, I mean, not this cheap shit, but I do have some nice stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I think I left my tennis bracelet in your anus. Just gonna go get that back.
I love how you're ready to like bounce bullets as Wonder Woman here with those bracelets on. Devin Upham is saying 1 finger for typing, 2 fingers for whiskey. Christian is all about the fist on this one. Just a good fist bump to you too, brother. There, I think when you're Irish, accidentally fist includes knuckle sandwich.
That's
No,
funny.
no, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I do want to specify that. Not a good thing about us, that's for sure. Not necessarily. There is a little bit of difference. I'm trying to think if I've ever accidentally punched someone.
I have.
Expected. Yeah.
I have. Sorry.
I think maybe my fist or my knuckles have impacted with somebody unintentionally.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be considered to be a punch. Christian is saying send in a search party for that bracelet.
Spelunking. I did karate for quite a while, and there was this guy he was very tall, and I was sparring against him. And when you go to do like a roundhouse kick, usually you kind of turn away so that they hit you in the butt so that it doesn't really hurt. And I was trying to do like a higher kick, and he turned the wrong way, and I hit him right in the nuts.
Ooh.
Sorry. But again, that was a mistake on his part because I was supposed to hit him. It's literally what we're doing.
I have never punched someone, and up until maybe like 7 years ago, I was with one of my roommates and we were like play fighting. He's like, come on. He's like, let's go. And so I did this.
Oh no!
Yeah,
No!
Yeah. And he started laughing hysterically because he's like, the thumb goes on the outside.
You're gonna break your thumb.
Oh. I was like, I pulled off a shoe before in a street fight. Like, I've been like, oh, bitch! Oh, she gonna come at you with a shoe. But I swear I have never punched anyone. I didn't even know how up until 7 years ago.
Can we also specify before heels, you're 6'5"?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So and I don't like. This is no shade to any woman, man, anyone who likes small heels, but I don't believe in small heels unless you have some sort of physical disability. But other than that, like, you walk in a heel. So all my heels are usually platformed heels, and they start at like an 8-inch heel with like a 3-inch platform. So I'm like literally 7 feet tall. Like literally.
I wonder if you spread your legs, I could just walk through without actually even hitting my head on anything.
Actually, if the legends are true, your head might hit something.
Well, is she tucked?
She is always tucked when she is in drag.
There
she
you go.
Always tucked. Okay, she comes prepared.
All right. Can I give a little like some drag secrets that you shared with me, Felicia? Can I share these with the audience?
I can't wait to hear what I've shared.
There's
so much.
There's a certain way of tucking that involves, if you want to give a very much an appearance of a camel's footprint or something, you use a little bit of super glue to wrap the scrotum around as you tuck underneath. That gives sort of a lip view as it goes in. And I believe, Felicia, you have bragged about the fact that you sort of can fuck yourself when you tuck.
Listen, I am super comfortable talking about the size of my penis because I don't give a flying fuck about dick size. I don't care. I'm not impressed by it. So when people are like, oh my God, you've got a big dick, I'm like, I didn't make it. I did nothing to earn this. Like,
same. I'm not a gardener.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no talent involved. It's just kind of there. But yes, I absolutely could plug in and just go to town on myself.
I love when people compliment
Plug in.
like certain parts of the anatomy that again, like if I gain weight, if I lose weight, if I whatever, my boobs are always going to be big. I love how they compliment that as though it's the first time I've ever heard it before. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I never noticed ever before that I had big breasts. Thank you.
I you sorry, just as coming in on the hit male kind of thing. If I'm with a partner and I find I enjoy the anatomy of the person I'm with and I comment on that, I'm doing it because I enjoy them and I want to compliment them. I
Oh, for
know
sure.
that complimenting a person, like I don't walk up to anyone on the street and saying, "I love how your nipples stick through that top." That's not something I'm ever fucking gonna do.
Usually, I'm
Uh,
talking like at a burlesque show. Like I get it's usually like women, cis women will come up to me and they'll like try to touch me without asking. Like I,
No.
yeah, I had like a woman come up and like literally like start walking towards me like this, and I was just like, nope, 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 nope. I don't know you.
And
Yeah,
Bijou, I love that you brought that up because it's the same thing when you do drag shows.
yeah, I've
I mean,
heard.
people literally think that it's I call it the mascot syndrome. Like they're at Disney World, you can grab Mickey, and I'm like, no, you
No,
cannot, because I will
no.
kick you in your Magic Kingdom. Like,
Yeah,
don't touch me until I
thank
said you
you.
can touch me. Like that
Consent.
period. Like I don't care, cis, gay, straight, I don't
Whomever.
care. Like
Yeah.
until I've said you can touch me, keep your hands to yourself. Unless, of course, you have money, that's an entirely different story. Then go to
Well,
town. I
uh,
just want to see that
context.
Please
cash.
remember to hit like. I do I. This is something I never hear enough, and I don't think I'm unique in this. But I have been groped, not even in a performance setting, or people who know I'm a performer. I have been groped by women in bars. I had like not even a conversation. One time I was just chatting with a group of friends, and a person kind of came up, stood there, looked at my friends as we were talking, and I nodded. I said hello, and they just reached over to kind of cup. There's another time where I was somebody. Uh, there was a group of people. I had just done a show, so that does have a performance setting. But this group of people didn't see the show. They came in. Another performer said, "Oh, and this person was on the show as well." And one of the women reached out with it was actually a massaging device that they had been given, and decided to press that up against my junk, uh, just as it was vibrating, and that happens. So I don't think I'm alone as a man in saying that happens. But at the same time, it's not something that we hear a lot of because men are not expected to complain about that.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to stereotype here, and I certainly don't want to get into any hot water, but as someone, again, who's performed in drag in the village, and as someone who has a lot of friends that are male strippers, the stories that are always the most aggressive usually come from cis heterosexual women. Like it's, and I really think that has to do a lot with how we suppress women's sexuality, much in the same way that when you look at like Japanese culture, it's such a culture that for such a long time was so repressed and suppressed that like when you'd watch their porn, it was like the kinkiest, fucking craziest porn you've ever
Yeah.
seen, because it has to come out. Like eventually your sexuality you cannot put a lid on it and let it boil. It's going to spill over. And so I often find that the people that have groped me the most are usually it's a bachelorette, it's the straight drunk bride who's like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You're like, no, Karen, you can't.
It's a double standard. It's like if a cis man were to come up to me and like so much as like look at me the wrong way, it would be like there would be more people who would have issue with that than if a cis woman were to come up to me and do the same thing, or to go up to a man and do the same thing, because like people think that it's fine if it's the other way around, and it's not. It's not.
Always consent. Always.
Thank you.
Oh, always consent. Bijou Bisou actually, she taught in Korea. Korea was subjugated by Japan for an
Yeah.
extended period of time as well. Uh, All right, some comments we haven't got to. Christopher is saying, "I wonder if you spread your legs." So many conversations start with that. And I don't know if
Oh, that
you
was
got
back
into
when I said I
the,
could.
you were walking
Yeah,
underneath. Yes,
I follow. I'm
Christopher
following.
also talking about when you accidentally kick someone, accidentally, but maybe not accidentally. Christopher saying, "Is size, breast, or penis ever a great compliment? Though you could say you appreciate what you see, but it's not like anyone can choose
Yeah.
size. I know people who have gotten reductions because for health reasons or just for general comfort reasons as well.
Or
So
augmentation, if that's your thing,
augmentations as well.
that's
Exactly.
fine. So in that
Uh,
case, like if I went out and got a breast enlargement and someone said, "Hey, your breasts look really good," I'd be like, "Thank you. I spent $10,000 on them or something."
Girl,
I
they
don't
should
know,
look great for 10
right?
grand.
Or whatever it is. Like, if someone says, "Hey, you have really good eyesight," I got LASIK, $2,000, best $2,000 I ever spent, right? But yeah, anyway.
Gotta love the LASIK. All right. And Devin Upham wants to like YouTube comments. All right. Which I think you should be able to do once the
Yeah, I think
video's
you can
over if you
after.
go back. So that's there. I love the sound of that when you're
Me
rubbing.
too.
There's such
I
a
was
texture.
like, it's very
Rub your arm
ASMR.
like
It's like,
that again, Bijou. That's almost musical.
Why is it that every single time I do a show, I end up doing ASMR? Last time it was like the Coke can and like the crinkling paper.
because it is just ASMR is joy. Like, let's just call it what it is. It is just pure joy to hear. Like, you just said that, and I could hear like the. I was like, oh
Yeah, it's nice. Some ASMR really like bugs me though. Some of it's like
I don't
really
like when
nice.
they talk.
Yeah,
I really
like dry
really,
mouth or whatever.
not even that, but when they do like if they're okay, like let's say Bijou, you were gonna do this. Okay, I would just want to hear that. Like I just want you to do this. I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm gonna touch myself. I'm like, it takes me out of it because it feels a little predatory. Like it's always so weird.
Maybe
like,
that's what it is.
I'm gonna cut this bar of soap. It creeps me out.
Sandra is saying that you have a fabulous mic. It captures everything. I have had, I believe she's comments for Bijou, but I have had it mentioned to me that I should possibly have a Pornhub account where I just do audio things. Maybe the visual might not match everything that somebody wants to see, but if I can give a good description and I enunciate properly, that people would like to hear these things whispered in their ears. But I don't know if that's...
Yeah, to me it comes across a little like they rub the lotion on the skin. Like
or else it gets the hose again.
That's what it's giving me. I'm so uncomfortable.
But some people like that. There we are. So all right, we have a ton of questions now.
All right. I'm ready.
Let's get
lightning
this
round.
started. Lightning. No, we're not going to lightning round this. It's
oh
shite. All right, we've been 90 minutes in. We had that question. What is the gayest thing you ever did? How awesome was it? Felicia, you're in the hot seat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The gayest thing I ever did, I was in a drag show once in front of 40,000 people. That was pretty gay, but gayer still was the fact that I was a backup dancer in that drag show and slept with the drag queen I was backup dancing with, which really, when all things considered, it was Pride. I was in a gay drag show in front of 40,000 mostly gay people, and then slept with the drag. It's very gay. There's a lot of gay there. I mean, we probably had sex to share too. So, oh no.
All right. It's my turn. Okay. I once.
You're...
Yep. Can you not hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I once had a three-way with with a married couple, two women. And then I went to a burlesque show where I performed and then took home a woman who was questioning her sexuality. And she and I did it. And it was the first time she'd ever been with a AFAB person. So that was an eventful weekend.
I'd say.
All right, Devin is saying there's a market for described video porn.
I bet there is.
My turn. The gayest thing I've ever done.
It was Felicia.
I have not even kissed you.
Yet.
To be clear, yet I have not kissed you yet.
Yet is the operative word, Father Love Doctor.
There it is. You know, do I have to dig out the priest color for you? Would that make
Jesus.
your day?
I need a cigarette.
All right. I have kissed a man, but it was a non-plus thing. So I don't know. I can't think of anything more. I've never performed in a musical. Is that a euphemism for anything? No.
No, but I was just thinking that's almost more offensive than only kissing a man. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, not even cats?
Not even cats.
What are jellicles? What are they?
Good question. And let me tell you, as someone who's a Broadway fanatic and who actually read the works of T.S. Eliot on which Cats is based, I still have not figured out what the fuck a jellicle is. But I know that they're blind when they're born and they can see in the dark. I almost broke out in the song. It took me everything. I swear to God, like, this is not a lie, and I'm going to keep the story really short, but this will give you a good idea of who I was in high school. In high school, for career day, my best friend Karen and I showed up in matching leotards with cat ears and a cat tail and sang Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser in front of our class. And let me tell you, it did not go over well. Oh. If there's something that, you know, French heterosexual boys don't give a fuck about, it's like Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser. It just did not get. I was not homecoming king.
And still somehow not the gayest thing you ever did.
No, still. Is that not incredible? I am super gay. I'm getting fucked right now.
By a man. All right. What is the straightest thing you've ever did, and how awesome was that? I got married, and it worked well for a while. It was awesome for a while, but then it wasn't. And we both recognized it, and we parted as friends. Does that count as? Because I would like to say probably, you know, something that was very masculine affirming for me was you know, like threesomes with two women, but even when I tell them that, you know, you're not the person I'm in love with, and it still happens, sounds very masculine, but I don't think it's straight because it doesn't involve everyone being straight. So yeah, being married is I'm not saying marriage is only for straight people too. I'm not saying that, but marrying for me to marry a woman and make that kind of commitment to them when they've asked for monogamy. And willingly saying yes and then doing my best to try to keep to that is the thing. So that would be the straightest thing I did, and it was awesome for a while, and then it wasn't. Felicia.
Ooh,
what's the straightest thing you ever did?
That's not true. I've been filleted by a friend of mine that I went to CJIP with. I was really sort of not sure how that would go, and it went fine. I was very drunk. I mean really insanely drunk, like so drunk that when we got back to her place, her mom was watching TV, and there was like a commercial for Law and Order coming up, and I, for some reason, had put this together with something I had read in the day, and I said, "Oh my God, Mrs. Ferguson, did you know that John Lennon is going to be on Law and Order tonight?" And she went, "John Lennon is dead." And I said, "So he's going to be the victim?" So that gives you an idea of like how drunk I was when I got filleted. Like I really had no idea what was going on. But the straightest thing I did was I had a friend of mine when I went to university, and our kick was going to Clyde's on Wednesday night, and we had a game that we called Cruel Intentions, not because it was cruel or mean or anything, just based on the film. And the whole thing was we had to pick someone up, but together, and sometimes it was guys and sometimes it was women, and the only sort of rule was that, like, regardless if they were gay, straight, how they identified, like, they wanted one of us, they had to come home with both of us. And that, so I guess, you know, there was some heterosexuality, but it was more like the thrill of manipulation, if I'm being totally honest. We were fucked up. We were kids from the West Island. We had money and nothing to do. We were really messed up. Thank you, Bijou. Oh my God, Bijou, was that you?
Yeah.
Did we meet years ago?
I don't know. The straightest thing I ever did. In Korea, I dated a pilot and on an American base. Fell in love, and when he went back home, I got an angry text from his wife calling me a whore. He had told me that he was divorced. That's the straightest thing that ever happened to me.
That is shade.
And so I guess
it was not awesome. The sex was awesome, but that was not. I just responded, listen, I didn't know. I'm very sorry if anything I did hurt you, but you need to talk to your husband because this has nothing to do with me. And she apologized. She apologized. She was like, you're right. I'm sorry.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
But don't forget to hit the like button as well. And if you want to add any questions in to the chat so we don't end this prematurely. I think we should be good to go to the end, but it's slido.com.
I never finish prematurely.
TLD60 is the event code to use there. We've got a couple comments have come in. Christopher is saying marriage is the straightest thing. Same-sex marriage sounds way gayer than hetero marriage is straight. Agreed, but for me it was a hetero marriage that I was in, and so that was the straightest thing was making that commitment and intentionally trying to keep up to the value to the vows and the expectations that were there. And let's just clarify, especially because Bijou mentioned her American pilot. The thing is, cheating in a relationship or breaking a promise, I don't think that's gay or straight. That's just dick. Sandra Delilah is saying, I've been seeing someone for a couple months. He said he is fine with me seeing other women, not men. Oh, OPP. He says he would feel inadequate. It's a common perspective, but it really doesn't sit right with me. Do you think there's something problematic with this? All right, there we go. They are cracking their knuckles. You have the hot seat, Bijou.
It's problematic. It's toxic. It's not okay. If you are in an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship and you happen to be bisexual or pansexual or omnisexual, saying that this person who only likes women presumably is allowed to go out and sleep with the women that they want to sleep with, or is allowed to be attracted to women that they're allowed to be attracted to, but you're not allowed to be attracted to the entire gamut of who your personhood is. It is manipulation. It is it's controlling, and it's fetishizing your, like, so and you find someone that you're attracted to and you want to go sleep with, it is fetishizing that. It's still about him and not about you. This exact thing happened to me. It's not cool. It's not cool. I don't have anything funny to say about it. It's just not cool.
I probably shouldn't say much more than the fact that I agree with Bijou. The OPP is the one penis policy, but the thing is, if they expect to be able to sleep with people with pussies, I think it would be okay if they agreed that they could only sleep with people with penises.
Thank you.
Then that should be the equivalent. If you're going to do that, if that is the nature of the relationship, is that you can only sleep with other people who are of the same sex as you. Felicia, your thoughts on this?
There is nothing that Bijou said that I can say any better. I fully 100% agree. It is toxic. It is a no-go. It is controlling. And actually, if someone wants to take, like, look at this when this is recorded, look at back at Bijou's comment and get that printed on a t-shirt for me. I will proudly wear that t-shirt
It'd be
because
really small font.
really small font, but I want the whole fucking thing. I want it like the whole thing verbatim because absolutely that is problematic. And I really, really have an issue with everything that's kind of behind that statement. Like that would concern me more than just the statement itself, more than the like, okay, like am I not sleeping with, you know, other men? The why behind it would be like, okay, well, let's talk about that because that would already start to put us on thin ice.
All right, we have a couple comments plus a follow up from Sandra that I want to do. Christopher Murtaugh saying, "Common, probably way back when I was in an open married relationship. Before that, I felt the same way. Getting past that was very liberating and eye opening. So again, it comes down to personal education." Luna is saying, "You are all so gorgeous, and look at that photo." Like you are, my guests here are very gorgeous, but Luna, look at those eyes, very gorgeous as well. I think everybody who's watching this show is very gorgeous. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. Sandra is saying he actually wouldn't want to sleep with anyone else, but I want to be open. Can we unpack that, Felicia? Do you have any thoughts
on Wild Delilah wanting to be open and her partner does not want to sleep with
doesn't
anyone else?
want, but is okay with her sleeping with only other women?
No, that's still not sitting right for me because this isn't. If you're gonna have like a polyamorous relationship, I don't think you can start giving it those kind of degrees. Like, so you can't be like, listen, I'm cool with you sleeping with other women, but you can't sleep with other men, and I don't want to sleep with anybody. I'm like, because I think the him not wanting to sleep with other people, that's discussed when you're deciding the relationship status. So you are in an open relationship. You are choosing not to sleep with other people. That is your choice. And I can fully respect that. But I don't think you can start to like, because how far would we go with that? That's my question. It's like, so you can sleep with some men, but like, I only want you to sleep with fat men, or I only want you to sleep with black men, or I only like, it starts to get like, no, like I'm either allowed to express my sexuality and sleep with the people I want to sleep with and you're okay with that, or we are in a monogamous relationship and you both have to be okay with that. But there has to be honesty and you have to be forthcoming. Like it has to be like you have to say, yeah, exactly, forthcoming. There was no better word. You have to tell your partner exactly, you know, how you're feeling about it. But I don't think you can get into these like weird sexual contracts. It skeeves me out.
It's, forthcoming is better than third coming. Bijou.
So the way that I understood that specification was that currently they're in a monogamous relationship and the question asker wants to open it up and their partner is not okay with that unless it's only with other women, if I'm understanding that correctly.
If I believe, because I might have a bit more knowledge, is the fact is the asker was looking for an open relationship.
Okay, so that was agreed upon.
About being
okay,
open.
Then no. Then I agree with everything that Felicia said. I think that like if you enter into a relationship and you say, listen, this is who I am. It's not that you like to fuck around, or it's that this is polyamorous, and it took me a really, really long time dealing with people like this before I was able to find somebody who understood who I am as a person. This is who you are, and if they are trying to suddenly change that and put that into a box, I like even if they didn't, even if they were like, okay, well, go ahead and you do your thing, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to do it. Like, you're incompatible. This is not what the relationship is. And maybe it's not good for him either.
Yeah.
So
I have to agree with both of you. I have been in this situation when I entered a relationship and before anything happened mentioned, look, I'm looking to only date. I'm looking to be open. I will be dating other people. And them saying they're okay with that, but they only want to date me. But then later on, feeling the acrimony that they have about the fact that I spend time with other people. and how that sort of became a seed of toxicity into the relationship that ended up with me not with me ending the relationship because of the fact that it is not healthy in that way. It's not healthy for them because they are compromising and they expect because they are compromising, even though you've not asked them to compromise, they are compromising that they are owed a little something special from you, and that is not the case. You want to love who you want to love. You want to experience who you want to experience, and that is the key. And if they can't respect you for who you are or who you want to be with, then they're not respecting the whole you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Christopher is saying, you need to do what you're comfortable with, but as a person with many years, sorry, I'm having difficulty reading that because the camera is in the way. But as a person who many years ago felt the same way, I've since learned that this was something I realized was something I needed to get over with. And it's true, it is possible that you can have like an open conversation with this person and be able to develop and move past that so they understand where you're coming from and they can be more comfortable and secure. Because that's one of the most amazing things about being in love with somebody, is if they love you, they you should be happy with that. You shouldn't worry about who else they love. You should not feel jealous because that does not diminish the love that comes to you from this person. And I think that's needed. Sandra's saying I needed to hear it. You guys are the fucking best. You notice we're not being told that we're the best at fucking. I'm just a little nervous on that.
That's because we haven't been all together yet.
That's true. All right. I also English bad. Just do you whatever you feel good with, and set your own limits. Anyone who cares about you will let you do that, and that is true. Sometimes it takes a little bit of education, a little bit of honest conversation to get to that point. But if you feel those nagging doubts in behind, like, I've had two breakups that I knew were coming before they actually happened. And it's the same thing with these kind of situations when you say you want to date multiple people, that you are dating multiple people, and when you care for multiple people, that somebody, who is jealous but is telling you, no, I'm not jealous, you get that feeling. And to not address it is just to compound the harm that will come later on.
I am totally fine. If like someone is in an open relationship and they want to sleep with me, I have no issue with that because it's sex. But I am not someone who is able to be in an open relationship. I've tried it. I don't like it. It makes me incredibly uncomfortable. I just listened to you say your point of like, if someone loves you, like, that love should be enough. And I'm like, no, and this could be my BPD talking, because like we've talked about this in the past about, I have borderline personality disorder. So when you're with me, you are motherfucking with me. Like you are with me. Like I will Lorena Bob at you. Now, should you want to sleep with other people, just break up with me. That's all I ask. Like I want you to come up and be like, I no longer want to be with you. But the whole having your cake, eating it too thing doesn't work with me. I cannot do it. I don't like it.
No, there is some people are able to negotiate a relationship where they're emotionally monogamous, but then can be physically, well, not polyamorous, but physically with other people. And there are definitely
as someone who
relationships
is
like that work. Personally, I don't think I am strongly demisexual. But I would say I have demisexual tendencies in the fact that I need to feel something for the person that I'm with sexually. And I don't know if we'd say it's a better performance. I mean, there's times when the blood is hot that, and you're with somebody who's willing, that you go for it. But for the most part, I need to have that mental connection, that emotional connection with my partner, to do my best, I guess. I don't know if there's a better way to put it, but to have that. I love the way that I said my best and Felicia just waved away.
There was a
from me.
mosquito. I swear to like, I was just like, what the hell? I was like, I have a screen. How did you even get in here?
I think my microphone unplugged. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay, okay, okay,
My
good.
headphones unplugged for a moment while I was talking.
Okay.
And so I plugged it in while I was finishing my little bit of a rant.
Okay.
Did you have something to interject with what I had said?
I was just going to say that as some people are hardwired to be like open or polyamorous, I think that some people are just hardwired to be monogamous. I understand the whole BPD fear of abandonment thing. I 100% do. I get it more with friends than I do with partners. Um,
Sandra's
that's
Go Woo BPT Club.
right. It's and so I totally get that. But like it's some people just want to be with that one person and that's fine too, but like if the parameters of the relationship are a certain way, like a friend of mine was in this long-term monogamous relationship, and then one of them was like, you know what, I want to be poly, I met this person, I'm in love with them, or I have feelings for them, I want to date them, I have always been poly but I was afraid to say, if I can't date them we're going to break up. And they were like, okay, so they worked it out, and then the second partner found a partner, and then suddenly the first partner was like, wait, but you're not spending any time with me, like you're not, I don't like this, I don't like that you're like never around. And it's like, so they basically just wanted this person to sit at home and wait for them to come back, like when they were done hanging out with the other partner. And it's like, if you want to be poly you have to be poly,
Yeah,
if you want to
that's
be
not fair
monogamous
as
be
well.
monogamous, period.
Agreed.
Yeah. Now, it's actually, Bijou, you mentioned something that I get into a lot of trouble for when I mention it, especially around the fantastic performer who's also a sex educator, Kaya Coco. When I say some people are hardwired to be monogamous, I believe some people are hardwired to be monogamous and some people are hardwired to be polyamorous. Just like some people are hardwired to be gay, some people are hardwired to be straight. And then the majority of people are somewheres
In
on a
between.
spectrum that comes from that because people are so different. And same thing goes with orientations as well. I think there is definitely a spectrum there. And some of it can be adjusted through education. Some of the expectations for monogamy come from societal expectations that we have drilled into us for so long. And even when I was married the first time, I was emotionally invested in a friend in a way that was very strong, which did not diminish the love for the person I was married to. But I never acted on it because of the fact that it would break those vows. But that was an ache that was inside me because I truly love that person. And I know that they knew it as well, but we never physically consummated that. And at the same time, I still made sure that I gave all I gave all the love that was deserved to my married partner. And that's the thing. Now, I skip a comment here. Felicia, it's all good that you don't want to be open. You don't want whatever limits, or you want to set whatever limits you're comfortable with. People who deserve you will get it. And you deserve to have somebody who gets that as well, Felicia, because you are a fantastic person. And know that I love you, that I respect you, and I think you're an amazing performer. Both of you are amazing performers, and I'm so glad that
Thank
I
you.
have you on here. Sandra is saying, my fear comes from being stuck with one person forever. LOL. I think that the idea that I can do something but won't necessarily do it, it's the fear of commitment. Again, it's like there's also buyer's remorse. It's like once you buy something, it's like, oh, should I have bought that? No, because it's a similar chemical impulse in the brain.
I
It
know,
is
but
like
I just thought of our second Shakespearean moment of the evening. I was going to say, sell now, you're not for all markets. You know, that's one of my favorite quotes from the Bard. And I was just like, yeah, no, but there is that buyer's remorse after you sold because you weren't for all markets. And someone's just like, I don't think so, Puck.
I think that being like polysexual or pansexual, bisexual, however you want to like identify, I think that like I understand that idea that like, okay, well, I am with a man now. I'm never going to be able to experience like both, like the range of sort of sexual experience that I prefer to have. You know, like if you're heterosexual or with, you know, you're the opposite sex, it's not like, oh well, I can't sleep with anybody else, I have a fear of commitment. If you're bisexual and you are dating someone of the same sex or the opposite sex, like it makes sense that you would have that want, because that's something that cannot be fulfilled by the person that you're with. So
That's just a physical fulfillment that you're
right.
talking about. There's an emotional fulfillment as well. I mean, being with somebody who doesn't get all your cultural references, you know, having the freedom to be with somebody else who gets your cultural references
Oh yeah.
is important as well. So it's all right. All right. As somebody who identifies as cis male, and I'm going to say that there is an opening. Felicia, don't jump on that. But there is an opening
I usually do.
that I want to state is the thing is, if you're with someone who is bisexual, you're lucky to be with them because they love you. Bisexual people love a person regardless of gender, right? There's some people, there's monogamous bisexual people
Oh
who are
yeah.
looking for that one soul, that one person that they connect with. And there's so many people that are going there out there. Oh, I want to date a bisexual person because that means threesomes will drop from the sky like thunderbolts. No, that's not how it works. They're with you because they love you. And if like there's a chance of having a threesome, it's better be because everybody who's there is physically and emotionally attracted to everybody else, or at least physically attracted to everybody else. And that is the key to both of those things. I know I'm sort of
No,
drink.
I think that's well put. I want to go ahead and say, as a disclaimer, I do not want to say that bisexual people cannot be in monogamous relationships, or that bisexual people are sex fiends, or that bisexual people will cheat on you. 100%, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is my experience as a bisexual person. But I am polyamorous, so this
As
is
a
from
bisexual polyamorous
a
person.
very specific, but also being open and being poly are two very different things.
Yes.
So you could still have like this open relationship where you get the emotional connection with your one partner, but the physical aspects can be found elsewhere. I do think that even in monogamous relationships too, you should not get everything from your partner, because that's also a
Agreed.
recipe for disaster.
Agreed. Hmm.
Anything that you hear about people being isolated from their friends and families never ends well.
Yep.
So please maintain those other, emotional connections, friendship
What?
connections outside. Even if you are being monogamous, please keep those up. It is healthy to do so. It's healthy in making you a rounded person as well.
What I
Are we
find
ready
really
for?
interesting, though, about one of the points that you brought up, Bijou, is, when you talked about not being able to get everything sexually from one partner. So, you look at how you identify, like, what your sexuality is. And then you also, like, for me, gender plays a big part in it, too, because part of my want or need for monogamy doesn't just come from my BPD jealousy. That's a very big part of it. But there's also something like, before we talked about my divorced guy, I really sort of fetishize being able to be like the feminine woman in the relationship. Like that's something that's very appealing to me. So I like the idea of the monogamous heterosexual relationship, because I think it's something that throughout most of my life I wanted so badly. Like but I was just in the wrong body for it. Like, and that's why, like, I fetishize a lot of straight men, because like really, that's kind of, I want to be a housewife. Is like, I so badly, like, it's just like, I will put on an apron heel. Like, I'm apparently a 1950s housewife. I want to put on like an apron, pair of heels, pearls, and do some vacuuming till my husband comes home, and then I'll fillet him. But he'll be monogamous, because that's what we do.
That is a lust. That is very much a lucky husband. I do have to state, with the fact, Felicia, you have a very feminine energy. Any partner that you are in a monogamous relationship with are basically dating two people, because you have a mask persona as well,
Yep.
who is a fantastic person, and deserves the appreciation that they should. They definitely deserves appreciation. It should get that appreciation from their partner because they should recognize how awesome the whole of you are.
But that gets so complicated. I can't even tell you. Like the number of times I have been told, like verbatim, choose. Like I want you to pick. Like, are you Felicia or are you Dan? And I'm like, I'm both. And that took years of therapy for me to be able to say that. Because for years, I did identify, I thought I was on the trans spectrum. Like I really actually thought I had, you know, body dysmorphia around being a man. And it was only actually when I went to get like a full psych eval that they were like, actually, no, you have histrionic disorder and borderline personality disorder. You actually, you're really not coming up on the trans spectrum. And it took a lot of soul searching after that because that was brutal. Like to go in thinking like, oh my God, this is my first step towards transitioning, and then being told actually, you've got some things that you're currently working on. It took me a long time to sort of realize that I sort of do agree with that diagnosis in the sense that like, I love being Dan and I love being Felicia. And, you know,
Both
whoever I end up with is really going to have to learn or I'm not even learn. Whoever I end up with is really going to have to love both because they're there. Like that's it. They're both there. Thank you.
Boom. That deserved to be said. If I can also, sorry, when you were still thinking about the fact that you are a person who would be transitioning, you had an act that I thought was amazing. Christopher saying, love big who you are. You're awesome. And I agree. And having met both Dan and Felicia, and of course, if I can say the other name at this point, of the other persona I've
yes,
known you as.
Of course.
The wonderful Marquise. Marquise had a routine that I loved. But it may be also have been at a point that you were expecting to transition, in which you did a striptease, which involved a bodysuit that had an artificial penis that you would remove.
Yes, I did.
Was amazing. It was always such a crowd pleaser to see that. And seriously, people talk about my old hair and how bushy and curly it was. That had nothing on the bush that Marquise's bodysuit had.
That was when I performed my parody of Whitney Houston's Saving All My Love for You, and I turned it into I'm Shaving All My Pubes for You. So that's how that came about.
That's funny.
It was very much. Both of you are talented performers. Felicia, I can't wait to see you on the Wiggle Room stage.
Oh, I can't wait.
We will be making that happen. We have another question. We have a series of questions. We got distracted in conversation, but I love that, and I'm sure everyone else loved it because they're going to be hitting the like button, right? All right. The next question that we have is it threesome time yet? Felicia, you're in the hot seat.
Well, I'm not in a monogamous relationship right now, so yeah, let's fucking go. Let's do this. I mean, I'll get spit roasted. I'm even open to having female, male, 2 women, 2 men. I don't care. I mean, like, it's a party. COVID's over soon.
Gotta ask the partner first. Consent is important, but otherwise, yeah, let's do it.
I get 2 weeks after the jab. Then call me if you want phone sex before then. Just call me. All right.
You don't have to just
be alone tonight.
All right. All right. Somebody's upping it. Threesome. How about a foursome? There we are. In the proper time parameters and safety parameters, yes. Just giving it the time, Felicia.
I love that social distancing has just gone out the fucking window in this one evening. We're like, okay, so like 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, everybody, take your clothes off. Let's get this going. So, yeah, no, I love that. I love multiple partners. I love trains. I love trains, planes, and automobiles.
Boom.
I like me. My friends like me. My wife likes me.
Oh, planes, trains, and automobiles. There we are. Christopher is saying foursome with masks, of course, because of the pandemic.
COVID is transmittable through bodily fluids. All of
It
them.
it
BT
is. It
dubs.
is. So please remember to make sure
Condoms.
that everyone has their little ticket saying that they've got their 2 jabs or are inoculated. Make sure you have your passports, and don't be a dick just because you've got your little travel passport. Not checking with your partners that they have theirs. Christopher saying that he had to explain to the Turk. The Turk. Hello, Bashak. I'm sorry that you just got called the Turk. What spit roasts meant. She laughed out loud. And so there we are. Oh, and we have another question that is in here. Should I check? All right, I'm a little toasted drunk, so I'm not able to see if this is a question that shouldn't be asked. Need to anonymously relate to Miss Bijou's stick it out, but definitely regret the date. Yes, sex and all, not an easy thing to admit as a man. Yes. I don't know if there was a question there, but it was need to anonymously relate to Miss Bisou's stick it out, but definitely regret the date. So I believe that was the date about how to escape bad first dates.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago, but this person is responding, yes, the sex and all. So staying there for the sex, even though they did not enjoy it.
I've done that.
Not an easy thing to admit as a man. I'm going to throw out a question to the men or the penis having people in the audience who are watching. Anyone who's free to ask, have you ever faked an orgasm? I have. Anyone else? So if you want to mention whether or not you have faked an orgasm, please let us know. We'll move on to the next question. The next question being, as an ex-Catholic, mostly secret coitus during mass in a pew, maybe in latex, has been a long time fantasy. Hot or not? So Bijou, do you speak about Catholic sex in a pew? A pew, by the way, do you know what a pew is?
I know what a pew is.
All right.
I once got kicked in a pew. I've been to church like twice, Catholic church, and I don't have any problem with it because I'm not Catholic. But it depends on how visible the crucifix is, you know, because like if I'm on top and I'm facing the other way, then that's fine. But if I look up and I see Jesus, like I'm not. I mean, he's a mensch, but I don't want him watching me.
I have done it on church grounds. I have what is it called? Second base in a sacristy.
Oh, mausoleum would be fun.
A mausoleum that goes back to the graveyards. But I've never had full on coitus inside a church. Felicia, hot or not? I'm going to say it's generally hot as long as you can make sure that you're not having any watchers who might be underage or anyone who doesn't want to glimpse.
Yes, I completely agree. No altar boys around, please. But I was going to be like, all like, Salve Regina Mater Misericordiae Vita Dulcedo Spes Nostra. Like, I'm like, yes, like, fuck me with a good Latin mass in the background. I would be down. And to your point about Jesus, I have like a huge fetish for abs, and Jesus is always portrayed as having like a nice six-pack. So I'm like, Jesus, you want to watch me? You're going to watch anyway, baby. And I'm going to confess to the priest afterwards. So let's just all enjoy church. Okay? Amen!
Boom. I believe this was some answers to my question about any penis having people faking orgasms. Christopher Murtaugh has yes. Flavio has yes. If you're underage, a Catholic church is not a safe place for you. Jokes aside, yes, there's definitely some horrible things, and there's a lot of horrible history. Continually bringing it up, I don't know if it's going to encourage change or not. But the Catholic Church has done far. Fuck, I can't say it's far worse.
So cherry pie's delicious.
Cherry pie is very delicious,
right?
Pie is delicious in general.
I agree. It's delightful.
Yeah. Not to put an onus on cherry being so special that it is something only to be given in special occasions. I think cherry, when you do receive it, is something that you should treat with an utmost level of respect and make sure that you understand the privilege that you have received with the cherry pie,
That's right.
and thank and make sure that the person who's presented the cherry pie to you is receiving as much pleasure from you eating it as they do from providing it to you.
Yes, all of those things.
Euphemism.
Yeah, oh, I got it.
Meanwhile, I'm like, shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie is good. It's got meat in it.
Talking about people with abs, have you seen shepherds? All right. Oh, shite. All right. We are actually out of questions. We are like 15 minutes past 2 hours. So many people have stuck around hanging with us. If you want to donate to the channel, it's just running below there. It's the link tree, linktr.ee / Paul Ash. It's look, it started again. It's going by there. You can do that. That'll be divided among all the performers that you're seeing here. Just a little buy me a drink moment. This has been a fantastic show. Felicia, do you have anything that you want to state?
I just want to say, Bijou, what a pleasure it has been to be on with you, because not only are you wickedly funny, which you are, you nearly killed me this evening, you also make amazingly astute and well thought out points, and it has been an absolute pleasure to be on with you tonight. So thank you so much. This is really cool.
It's really sweet. It's been lovely. It's awesome. I just want to hug you once everyone is vaccinated. As they say in Hamilton, I'm now going to get my shot. I'm now going to get my shot.
And if I couldn't love you more, quoting musicals always works.
Hamilton.
When you first said Hamilton, I thought Ontario. Which is far different from where you are. The two kinds of people.
Yeah, I was like, very different group.
Very different groups. I definitely agree. Though I have tons of friends who live in Hamilton, I really feel like I'm just become that person who says, "But I've got a black friend." I just thought that was uncomfortable. It's Hamilton, Ontario. Yeah, on that note, Flavio saying appreciate the cherry. Great show. Thank you, Sandra. We are out of questions at this point in time. I'm the Love Doctor. I love you all. The fantastic, because I was an idiot tonight and I wasn't putting it up there. Felicia Rayne across all social media. Felicia_Rayne. We have the fantastic Bijou Bisou, who is bijou.bisou on Instagram. Please give them a follow. Make sure you like everything that they say. Unless this is another question that we've got coming in. We've got a heart coming in from Christopher. You have been an amazing audience. I really have loved this show tonight. I'm just going to finish off my drink as we end the show. I'm the Love Doctor. And I love you all. Cheers. Sláinte.
Oh, he just threw that there.
Oh, that was dry.